There are 5 of us in this secondary cancer group at Maggie's. We have Karen, we have 3 Ruths, so we have to have little names for them. We have Big Ruth, we have Wee Ruth, and we have Posh Ruth. The one thing we have in common is that we're going to die. We don't know when we're going to die, but we are going to die because we have secondary cancer.
And you don't realise how much your eyebrows frame your face. Not that I had very thick bushy ones to start with, but yeah, I feel kind of naked when I haven't got them on. And a little bit of that as well. So I was looking at, there's a counter down here telling you how many calories you're using. And how long you've been doing it for. Just to stretch the top of the spine and do this. Without the chemotherapy, I would not be here. That has kept me going. I wasn't given a prognosis of how long, apart from that if I didn't respond to chemotherapy, then I would be a very sick person after 9 months. And it's been nearly 2 years now. Not really. I used to be able to touch my head to my knees. There we go. Seems odd to see them now. Because that's what... I think that's about 3 months I've gone without a wig. Yeah. I'm not supposed to scuba dive or ski anymore. Just because of the danger if I fall. I have cancer in my pelvis and most of my spine and some of my ribs, so that the danger is that my bones are more likely to fracture if I have an impact or fall, particularly skiing. What a lot of people don't realise is because we lose our hair, eyebrows, eyelashes so often, hair colour changes, doesn't come in the same curly when you've been straight, that it is the same person. I only came across the Maggie Centre when I was subsequently in hospital up in Nine Wells for reconstructive surgery. The 5 of us meet regularly every week. We are so different. Some of us have deep Christian faith and beliefs, others don't at all. We wouldn't have met, I don't suppose. But it's the one thing that binds us together is the secondary cancer diagnosis. We perhaps don't know an awful lot about people's personal life, but it's a deeper connection that we have, I think, with each other.
They've not sort of split or anything, have they?
They're coming off.
Oh, your fingernails.
My fingernails, but I managed to keep the hacks at bay.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of hacky bits on my feet, but it's my feet that get so sore.
Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Do you know, after I've spoken maybe for a wee while.
You can't be bothered anymore.
I can't be bothered. And you know, I like chatting to people and finding out about them, and then it gets to the stage where, oh, I can't be bothered with this anymore. Go home.
Right, we better stop there.
No, but I'm only telling, I wouldn't tell anyone else
I know.
that. No one said that I would be perhaps dead by Christmas. No one said that. They just said it was aggressive and perhaps I didn't have all that long. We started to make all sorts of preparations. I wrote my will. We decided we probably have to sell the house because I knew it's the only thing we know that's going to happen is we are alive and we die. Everybody dies. And it was a real privilege. It was an honour to know that I had some time perhaps to prepare. If I look back on it now, during those first couple of months, things were in a turmoil. I don't know if I really was myself. I was saying all the right things to all the right people, but I'm not sure exactly what was going on inside. I was probably angry, I was probably grieving, and all those sort of emotions. Felt bad about it. But why feel bad about it? It just happens, that's it. You've got it. Why does Mrs. So-and-so next door not have it? Because she doesn't. She's got it, so just get on with it. In the early days, when you're first married, it's about, you think you'll be completely fulfilled when you're married. No. You'll be completely fulfilled when you have children. No. Or your house, you'll buy a new house, or you have a big garden, or you'll do this and you'll do that. No. I knew nothing about the Maggie Centre until one of the girls, Ruth, said, why don't you come along? Leslie would love to have you in our group. It's a group that was started by Leslie, chief psychologist at Maggie's, for folk who have secondary cancer. And it's a wonderful support group. It's been inspirational in my life. We go there most weeks unless we're not feeling too good. Leslie is very direct, but at the same time she's very subtle too. She brings out things in us that we never realised we had. She takes us to very hard places, but you know what? She brings us out the other side. I have a dilemma about it's better to go. You know, there's better things ahead, but I still want to be here on Earth, so there's kind of a dilemma. Because it's not been all that good for me. And that was a great discovery when I got cancer, that the life I had was not all that good. And so when I got this cancer, I really wanted to, to make the most of things and to do much more than I had been doing.
I think you very much kind of suddenly come to the point where you realise your life's quite short, really. It's not going to go on forever. Because when you're young, you think you're never going to die. But all of a sudden, with cancer, you suddenly are brought very sharply to the point where you think, well, I am going to die, and it's maybe sooner than you think.
What were the kind of the emotions that came with those thoughts?
It's hard. I said to Kathleen, you suddenly realise that you've lost a lot of your freedom. The freedom that comes with being healthy, to do whatever you want to do. There's a lot of things you can't do now that you used to be able to do. And even with age, I would still be playing golf. I don't do any of that now. When I was young, I was very sporty when I was young, but I wasn't allowed to be too competitive or get involved when I was still... My parents didn't think that was something that was valuable. So it's only when I've been an adult and free to be able to choose what I wanted to do and what I was good at. So I suppose it's the things that I've perceived about myself, that the gifts that I felt I had weren't allowed to be expressed when I was young, and then when I had the freedom, I chose to do that, and now that's been taken away. So I think suddenly you feel so reliant on what the doctors say until you've had it for a while, and then you realise the doctors don't know everything. So,
One of the things that we have to think about amidst all sorts of things is that there are two women who potentially would really profit from being part of the group. So I just want us to have it as an ongoing conversation.
I think it's been a journey for all of us this last while, because we've never had so many people dying in the group all at once. That's been really tough, and we just need time to process it all.
Right. So let's give ourselves this time, right?
It's actually been very, very scary, in the sense that, I mean, you know, your mind plays games anyway. So as soon as you get a sniffle or as soon as you get pain, it's all starting again. And Elspeth, 1 week your bloods are not quite right for treatment, and within a week she passed away. And I recognised so much within her face, and I think that's been really scary for me to think, well, you know, I was nearly there. So quickly like that to anybody, any of us.
With cancer or any other terminal illness, you know, you don't know when it's going to happen. Secondary diagnosis does mean that you will not be cured. You know, whereas the first diagnosis, they don't know whether it's going to come back or not, you know, so there's always a risk there. But secondaries, they know it will begin growing again at some point, that you will need treatment. And as they go through treatments, the treatments wear out. You know, you can't have any more of this one, or we've tried that one and that one didn't work, so you have fewer and fewer, and they're less effective as you go through the different lines of them. It's tough when we lose members of the group. It's very tough. And we've lost 7 since we started the group 2.5 years ago. But you join the group knowing that this is a fluid group, and knowing that when you join, people are going to be leaving the group. If I'm honest, one of the reasons I joined this group and have people meet together actually was for me to see what it was like to die from cancer.
So Ruth's the 4th one this year that's, you know, seriously ill and probably not going to see very much longer. So we've lost 3 already this year. And she's in hospital. She's in a side ward at the moment, and she was diagnosed a couple of weeks ago, if that, with the spread to the brain tumours now. One's in I think at the base of the brain stem, or somewhere in the brain stem, and the other one is in the cerebellum. But like I say, she looked very, very peaceful, very calm and tranquil, and just breathing regularly, slowly but regularly, sort of deep breaths, and just looked very serene and had this wonderful smile across her face.
So how do you talk with yourself about where you are?
It depends on how I'm feeling. When I'm feeling good, then you can almost put it to the back of your mind. When you're feeling rubbish, that's when it comes to the forefront. And that's maybe what Kathleen's saying. You need something to believe in, or to fill that void to help you through that bad period.
I do think about dying, and I think about death and funerals and wee snippets, and think, oh, I must write this down, or I must make a wee note for PG to do this or that. And I have at the back of it, I've just written in it, PG, please remember to feed my birds. So, if he goes through things, which he'll probably do, he'll find wee things here and there.
Oh, that's giving me a chill.
I think that's lovely. That'll bring a smile to his face, so you'll be...
Yeah,
But you know what's about? Many people will say to me, they'll say, I keep searching for a note. I keep searching for notes. They must have left me some notes, and I keep searching and they're not there.
It was my husband that started me in the birds. My love of birds probably started when we got our own house. I don't see myself as Karen with cancer. I'm Karen, and I don't mind who knows that I've got secondary cancer. When I got my secondary diagnosis in December, I felt that was it. My life was over, completely over. That I was on the slippery slope down and wouldn't be here probably in December 2010. I can't put into words how I felt. Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Stomach was a mess, and it was absolute hell. But having Maggie's at the hospital, just such a bonus. You need friends who really know what you're going through, know your fears. You can't say to people, don't worry. That's what I wanted people to say to me, don't worry, it's going to be okay. But nobody said it, and you just wanted somebody, a doctor, a nurse, someone to say, it's going to be okay. And it doesn't come. I've met some very special people, and we've lost some very lovely people, but that's the way of it.
Ruth Crandall died, and it wasn't sudden, but she'd had such a long battle, and she'd been through so many treatments that actually it seemed to come quite quickly. And although, I think, gathering from her family, she felt that she'd been given a little bit of time to organise things and speak particularly to her daughters and have some close time with her daughters, it did seem to come quite quickly. And that was really hard for the rest of the group to cope with.
I had no idea that she was so ill, and I fully expected her to get out of hospital. And then the next text I got when I was away was that she'd passed away, and I was, yeah, it was a shock because we've lost quite a few of the girls in the group.
I miss her so much. I really miss her. I got all sorts of help from Ruth. And for her to go was devastation, really.
Over the weekend I was revisiting one of your questions about inviting others into the group.
What do you think?
And certainly on Sunday night and yesterday morning I was thinking, I can't, it's not a good time for them.
There are a lot of positives, yes, there's a lot of negatives too, I'm finding out, but I think my life is certainly richer for having met
The other members.
the other members, yeah.
I'm not sure I want to go there with other people that I don't know at the moment. I just don't think I need that anymore. It was on Abigail's 4th birthday, when I was 8 months pregnant, that I was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer. So our life with children has always been, really, apart from those first 4 years, has been a life where cancer as a company does as well. I just could not believe that I could be growing a baby and a tumour at the same time. But I thought it was hormonal. And the first thing they said was, well, we need to get the baby out, we need to do this thing, we need to get the baby out, because we need to start treatment as soon as we can. So I spoke to the obstetrician. I am going to be able to breastfeed, aren't I? And she said, well, it won't harm the baby. The cancer cells are too big to get into the milk, so it won't harm the baby. Just as they're too big to pass through the placenta as well, so the baby should be fine. So yeah, go for it, So I did.
Oh. What? Right.
I actually fed her for 7 weeks. That was a big thing for me, huge thing. And hopefully a big thing for her as well.
Whoa! Okay, so there we are, weaving in and out. Oh, here I am.
And I've heard them exploring with each other, and they very often have they've role-play situations about being orphans and going off and having to forage for themselves and do this and find people to live with and how they're going to get to school and who's going to do the driving.
That one has the colour it's supposed to be, but it's not fully ripe. And over here, look, if you come over here, you can see a much better one. This is the colour on top, but on the bottom, not quite.
One of my concerns is that when I offer this group to people, they see it as too scary because they don't want to hear other people's stories. And I wondered whether that was something that had gone through your mind. Or they're scared of other people's conditions.
No, I wanted to hear their stories. It was important to hear how they'd coped with it and how they were getting along and so on. But then when I got to the point of listening to all those stories, I was totally overwhelmed.
And I was gobsmacked. I couldn't believe that these were 2 women with secondary cancer. and it gave me real hope. I thought, look at them, they look amazing.
Now I've got a couple of women who I think will really benefit from knowing you folks.
I think at the time you mentioned it, things had been so unstable with quite a few deaths, and it probably would have been detrimental to anybody coming into the group, because we were all quite down as well, and we were discussing the funerals and so forth, and obviously we still are, but I don't know, things have to move on.
Coming back here and not seeing all the faces that you've been seeing for the last year and a half or whatever, it's quite hard. So I just gradually did it, came in for a cup of tea, or I think we could, we could have a lot to offer new people that come to the group, and I think we've got the time and the energy now, instead of feeling so drained and upset, missing everybody, but it just seems so fun.
I talk about you all, not giving you names or breaking confidences, but I talk about, lovely woman, and she's had a similar experience to you, and but I desperately want them to meet you. So if we did it in kind of stages, then that might be a good way.
Yeah.
Okay. The group meets on a Tuesday, so again you came to mind at that point, and they were quite feeling very much that they would feel able to have somebody come into the group if you felt up to it.
All I want is a normal life. If somebody can give me a normal life, or my new normal, to see people who are living a normal life, whatever you term as normal, and just having cancer as part of their life.
Hello, Rory. Oh dear.
How are you feeling?
Okay, tired, but I'll be fine. Got the Maggie Centre this morning, so...
Is that the group thing?
Well, this is this new group. You know Leslie, who's the psychologist?
Yeah.
Leslie said they're all very positive role models. So I'm hoping to feel empowered by it all, empowered and encouraged by it all, which would be great.
Hello? Hello?
How are you, darling?
Are you off work yet?
Yeah, she's only got 2 weeks to go.
Which wig are you going to wear today to your new meeting?
Oh well,
That's what I asked.
we're going to decide on that when we see the outfit. So.
The glamour or the dating?
I think you're taking the Michael of me, really. I had a major meltdown when we went to Maggie's on...
Oh, you should have been here. It was hilarious.
I was getting myself all lovely, and I thought I'll put some makeup on, and I put my foundation on.
Pardon?
From all the nice stuff.
Friend.
Maggie friend,
Not the
not
same.
Maggie the centre, Maggie friend. And I put my foundation on and everything, and then I thought I'll put some mascara on, and then I found out I had no bottom eyelashes at all.
No eyelashes?
No. No bottom ones. I have a few top. I had
A few sparse ones.
I don't think it's very. Katrina thought it was hilarious.
No, I didn't think it was hilarious, but now it's funny.
Now it's funny. At the time, it wasn't very
At the
funny.
time, it was very serious.
It was very serious, but we dried our tears, didn't we? And we just got on. So that.
Volume lash extender.
And you can't volume lash when you've only got about 2. It just looks bizarre. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. Now we could go this and white trousers, or that.
Oh, so you're going quite dressy?
I think so. Don't think that's nice?
Yeah.
I just would be happier the first time.
Wearing something nice.
wearing something nice, and then I can wear jeans and things in next. Heels.
Flats.
I think so.
I think this, and those. What one do you think?
I don't know.
The wig's always a dilemma. That one's more softer.
Okay. Shall I go this one then?
Go and put the other one on. But you want to feel nice though.
Or this.
Because that one has a funny thing at the front still.
You don't like that, do you?
No. Oh, it separates.
I think I'll go with a long one.
Long one.
Long one, we've decided, right? I have found unless you've been involved with cancer, either yourself or somebody else that you know, you don't really know what it's like. And I think it's important that people, I know that I meet people and they don't know what to say to me, and it's really important that people with cancer are just normal people. I'm just a normal person. I have my children, I have my family, I have my friends, and it's really important this becomes not me. It's not me. Cancer's not me. Cancer's a part of me, and you have to carry on living, and you have to make the most of it.
I wanted you to meet some other women who thought about their cancer in a slightly different way. And I wanted you to have the experience of being within that group. I mean, Kathleen mentioned that we do get quite sad sometimes, but it can be a kind of a helter-skelter kind of whoosh. We go into sad and then we whoosh, we come back out again. What things went through your mind about your own men?
Graham had a heart attack, of course, because out of nowhere. So he's kind of reviewing this notion of death and dying and bits and pieces for himself, because he thinks, you know, that was his close shave, and it's a strange thing. You know, you've got heart problems which are quite acute as well as being chronic. So we could both have died, and we might still both die, but from different things, and it might happen like that for him and a bit longer for me. So that's a bit strange. I don't think the girls have picked up on the fact that we might both die.
The girls, you don't think the girls have picked up?
No, I don't think so.
Have you had to think about that in terms of who will look after the girls?
Well, we have now. I'm even considering putting a letter into the wills to explain why we've made such choices. I suppose underlines some of my philosophies anyway that I've had over the years, and as you said, about from the parenting aspect. And it's what you give your kids now that will take them through whatever they've got to go through, you know. I mean, Polly, the little one, the 7-year-old, within a couple of weeks, I think, of Graham having his heart attack, he was still in bed, and she sort of got him beside him, and she said, "I don't want you to die. But if you do, I'd like Matthew to be my next daddy."
That's brilliant.
She's like, "Well, that's funny, actually," we didn't say to her, but those are the people we were thinking of too, so if you've said it as well, then... So it kind of just underlines, coming back to that, you know, that it's the parenting, it's what you give them now, and not just your family, but friends as well, and other people. You know.
But that's an amazing thing, to be so positive in a not very positive situation.
Do you think it is positive? Do you think it's positivity, or would you class it like that?
I don't think so. I don't know. I've had conversation about positivity.
Yeah, because I mean, some people.
For me, it's real. It's just realism.
Yeah. You could be realistic and very negative, as in very down all the time, and oh, woe is me. Life's so unfair. Why has this happened to me? And something else has happened to me, and you obviously have.
It's not in my nature.
Gone beyond that to acceptance and realism, I suppose. I was shocked and sorry that Ruth's husband had heart attack, and I suppose as a mother I was just thinking, see what would I do with my children, how hard to have to think about that, but how sensible really to allow that thought to come in. And you absolutely want your best for your children, and also you've got to get things sorted out, because otherwise it just lends to upset and people being annoyed. It was just it just hit really home to me for Ruth, for her children, and for how shit things are sometimes for people. And then they just carry on. She's absolutely amazing. And that's what's incredible, to see that people can come to that acceptance for at least some of the time. She will have, I'm sure, her dark moments, as they all will. But there's a lot of laughter and a lot of joy in their lives as well.
I think about lack of time and lifespan, time in that sense. A lot of the time, I can't not. I think it's impossible, when you know that your time is limited, you've no idea how much it is limited by, and all the things that you're not going to see and not going to experience. And you can't help but be sad about that, I think. Or I can't help but be sad about it. And it's certainly not what I would choose. There's people that have died before me. I'm not the first person to leave my kids.
We've had new people join, and it's, that's part of it. Again, that's part of life. These people that have joined didn't know these other people, and they're going to be there. Maybe they'll go before me, maybe I'll go before them. I don't know. Nobody knows. But we're there to support each other.
It's one of the worst diagnoses you can get, and you've got that diagnosis. I'm still here. I'm still feeling fine. I can still pursue things that I want to do. So at the present moment, I can say I'm not scared.
With time, and I would never have thought I would be saying this, but with time you realise that fear is just, you're wasting time with fear. It takes too much energy to be frightened. While it didn't change who I loved and what things meant to me, just things meant a lot more to me, much more precious. The day, to waken up and think, I'm feeling good to be here.
In the beginning, it's very, very hard to have cancer. And that's because you know other folk that have it and perhaps have died. As time goes on, it's not like that at all. I've found it as a new beginning, and there is life after cancer, and it can be a really, really good life. It can be much better because there's so much more to get out of life. It's given me a new chapter, and I hope it gives everyone else a new beginning.